Hello and welcome to the fourth and final class of our tutorial series here, where we create a custom template tool with automation blocks for After Effects. I'm Matthias from mamoworld.com, and today I want to talk about rendering, how to render your template instantly after it has been created. But before we want to do this, you note that today I don't have our project file open yet, and this is because I want to show you how to make this tool itself actually open the project that it wants to use, because indeed, this project here, or this tool, is about using one very specific After Effects project file. So it would be cool if it would actually make sure that this one is open before customizing it. So we go here to the AE App and Project category because we want to open a project. And here you find Open Project. And you can do this either at the very beginning, or you can also do this after the user made their choice. It really doesn't matter. Maybe we do it here after the user made their choice. And you pick here the file that you want to use. In the My Template folder, in this case, I want to use this After Effects project. Okay, and now you have the option what to do if the currently open project has unsaved changes. Usually I highly recommend to say prompt, which means it asks you, do you want to save the existing project? Now, since we are going to run this tool many times during the development and don't want to always answer these prompt questions, we just go to don't save for now. Let's check if this is working. We run our script and say, welcome to class 4. Okay. And it opens our project and instantly updates the content to welcome to class 4. Okay. Now let's talk about rendering, which we obviously want to do at the very end after everything else has been customized in our project. There is a category rendering here. And usually when you want to add something to the render queue and then render it later, you want to follow the following pattern. To say you want to clear the render queue to make sure there is nothing left there that you don't intend to render. Then you want to add something to the render queue. And then you want to start the render queue. Yeah. Maybe let me disable this block here for a moment, such that we don't have to render all the time while developing this. We just want to check if the right entries come up in the render queue for now. First, we need to pick here a composition now that we want to render. You cannot really rely on the main composition that we want to have here being the active composition, so it's more robust to use a project item picker, so to speak. Here you can choose a project item and drag it on top. Now you can just select your main composition and click here, and now it inserts this text for you, which says /main comp. So in the root folder of the project, use the item with name main comp. This is what we want to render. And of course, you could also put here a normal text block and enter main comp, or come up with any other way to specify the comp you want to render. And now these settings are exactly the same as in the render queue itself. You can choose the render settings, best settings, and let's go here for lossless output maybe. And here you can now pick a file name. Note that it also supports these placeholders here, like in square brackets, the comp name or the file extension. You could now click here and pick a hard-coded file name. But what I actually want to do is come up with a generic way to name our files automatically, such that the files that are created have a very consistent naming, and we don't want to leave it to the user to pick a meaningful name. Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to create a text here for our file path, and the beginning of this should be the folder where we put the file. So we go to Files and choose here a folder picker. And the folder where we want to put our files is in my template. I've got here this final results folder. This is where it should actually go. So we choose this folder name, this folder, and then at the end of this, we want to have, or in this folder, so we put here a slash. Yeah. So inside of this folder slash, we want to have a file with the name my template, for example, space, and then at the end, maybe we want to add the main text here. Yeah, so this should be then my template and then come to class 4. So we need first to add here another element and put our variable with our text main. This should become part of the file name. So let's see if this is working. We run the tool, and let's say our main title this time is render test. Okay. It updated the content, of course. here to say render test now, and we've got a entry in our render queue now to say my template render test.mov. Yeah, so it took in this folder, it will render to the name my template and the main text render text test. And notice that it appended the extension .mov automatically here. Okay, one last remark, you can also render to many output modules at once if you want. Just click here and add another output module. Now you can say at the same time, I also want to export like a TIFF sequence with alpha, and then you can specify a file name for this here. But for now, I think one output module is good enough for us. Let's do a final test and enable this rendering block here again to check if everything is working. We run the tool and say template tool, final result, and let's go for the dark theme, for the blue theme here just for fun. Click OK, and now it saves, and you can see it immediately starts rendering our template here. So that's the end of this course. I hope it helped you and gave you some idea how to use automation blocks efficiently for tedious rendering jobs that occur frequently. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to go to help here and to join our community, ask questions in the forum, and if you create useful things, don't hesitate to share them in our community library. Again, I'm Matthias from mamoworld.com, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next tutorial. We've got tons of tutorials on mamoworld.com, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next one.